Hello, I'm Patrick Hannon, student ID 3946576. Here's my student ID to verify that, 3946576. And let's investigate question 4 together. Alright, let's start with question 1. How can we verify that our system set up properly for threat hunting, ensuring both Suricata and the JQ tool are installed and functional? Alright, so we can do that by running Suricata. I don't need to update it as it's already the latest version, as you can see. And we can run Suricata YAML file to ensure that the configuration is loaded successfully, which it is, and we can run JQ version to see that JQ is on version 1.7. It's up to date and ready to run. All right, let's analyze the event log file to identify and categorize the alerts generated. So we have this alert file, question4eve.json, and we want to organize the alerts, sorting from the most alerts to the least alerts. And this is the output we get here. All right. So let's move on to the third question. Develop a hypothesis focusing on the detection of potential database-related attacks, such as unauthorized scan attempts, scanning activity on database boards. All right. So as identified in the previous question, we can look at these four here on the MS SQL port, MySQL port, PostgreSQL SQL port, and Oracle SQL port. We're going to focus on these four here. All right. So we can develop the hypothesis as I have in my Word file. All right. So using the highlighted alerts from the previous question, we can form the hypothesis that the network is undergoing a database-focused attack as a result of coordinated scanning activity and potential unauthorized access attempts across multiple databases, which I've just outlined. All right, now let's perform a detailed investigation and validate this hypothesis. All right, so how can we do this? Let's go back to our VM, and we're focusing on the alerts related to the SQL ports. All right, so we get this output here. We want to look at the source IP first, of course, and we can see that 32 alerts are related to a single IP, 8.42.77.171. So we can kind of ignore these other IPs. This is going to be our attacker IP address. And we also want to look at the destination IP address, who is the victim of the attack. And that's going to be 138.68.3.71 with 64 alerts to that IP address. So we have a clear attacker and a victim. And we want to look at the alerts related to databases. So we want a timeline of these alerts from the source IP all to that destination IP. And we can see that across the span of 90 minutes, there have been these 32 alerts triggered on that destination IP address. So if we go to my investigation file, we can see that the one source has triggered all these alerts on January 2nd, 2019, across 90 minutes. The evidence irrefutably supports the hypothesis that the network's undergoing a database-focused attack. The scanning is coordinated across multiple database-related domains. All right. So let's move on to the final question. Justify whether the detected events warrant raising a security incident. Absolutely. We'd target critical database servers, MySQL, MS SQL, PostgreSQL, and Oracle SQL on a single host from a single attacker. The repeated probes are over an extended period, focused exclusively on high-value database boards, and is highly indicative of deliberate reconnaissance consistent with the pre-attack phase of the MITRE ATT&CK framework. The behavior suggests an elevated risk of future exploitation, and in order to avoid future threats and problems, we should absolutely escalate it and solve the problem. All right, thank you for listening to my question 4.